Okay, so um, I think everybody, welcome. Firstly, apologies for that slightly weird start at the beginning. I don't know whether you caught that, but I'm actually up at my father's today visiting him, and I think we've got a bit of an issue with a slow internet. So many apologies for that. Hopefully it won't disturb us any more than that. But anyway, welcome today. It's great to have you here. Thank you for your time. I always really appreciate people's time in being here. I know today's free for people to attend, but the biggest investment of all is often the investment of time. And no doubt you've got lots of things that you could or should be doing, but you've chosen to spend 15 minutes. I'll try to stick to that today with me talking about growing your business. I'm actually going to be talking about the relationship between sales and marketing and business and how to structure that really. So I know that's for me that sounds a little bit dry, but I promise it won't be. I promise you'll get some value from it. Today we're streaming live using something called Streamyard, which is a great piece of software. It enables me to stream live on LinkedIn, Facebook and YouTube, and if I pay a little bit more money, I could also StreamYard across a whole variety of other media. However, I'm also recording this on my podcast, so if you're listening on my podcast, welcome. It's good to have you here on the Results Podcast. You might be listening on my podcast on Spreaker, or you could be listening on iTunes or Amazon Music, or any one of over 30 different podcast stations. So, you know, that's just the miracle, I think, that we're all living in of digital marketing. You know, this is actually going out and will be listened to by over 8,000 people. Which is just remarkable, I think. You know, when I wanted to send a message out when I first started out in business 28 years ago, you know, that would involve 28,000, or should I say 8,000 envelopes, 8,000 letters, 8,000 stamps, and so on and so forth. Now I can do this for virtually nothing. I think I pay something like $25 a month to use StreamYard, and I'm out there pretty much every day. I miss occasionally, like bank holidays and stuff like that, but normally pretty much every day, Monday to Friday, 12:30, you'll catch me on one of those stations. So it's great to be here, and a big thank you. So let's get on with things. So the role of sales and marketing, what is it? Well, I think before we talk about that, we need to take a step back and understand the role of business. The purpose of a business is one thing. Now, You may say, well, you know, I want to do good and I want to help people and I want to improve the quality of my life and all those sorts of things. But ultimately, to do any of those things, you know, whether it's to buy a new car or disappear around the world or whatever it is for what you want for you, your family, or others, or the world, or whatever, ultimately, it comes down to one thing. You got to make a profit. And you've got to make a bigger profit. If you're listening to this, I'm assuming you want to make more profit. The old saying that income is vanity and profit is sanity is so incredibly true in business. You know, I could turn over 20 million, and if my costs are 21 million, I ain't doing very well. And so it's all about profit. That's all that matters. And so if you think about how to make more profit, there's only two ways of doing that. You know, you got to reduce costs and you've got to increase sales. That's it. You know, so, well, I could buy a business. Well, that's called increasing sales, isn't it? You know, you're buying a business, buying another business to merge with your business, and you're taking all their business and increasing sales. That's ultimately what you're doing. So, you know, from a business point of view, I'm sure there's a little bit of money that you could, you know, save right now in your business. And that's definitely a good thing to do. But what you don't want to be doing is saving in the key area of your business. That is your ability to increase sales. That is absolutely paramount. Now, if I asked you on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being absolutely awful to 10 being unbelievably good, and let's say 5 being pretty much average, like most businesses in your industry, where would you rate yourself under the following headlines? Your website, you know, does it win you business? Your social media, your email marketing, your use of Google Ads, your lead generation as a whole, your networking that you do, and so on and so forth. Now, I don't know whether you're doing any of those, obviously, but if you are, it's really important to rate them and then look at what I've been doing now for 28 years, and that is helping people to improve their results. That's ultimately the value I hope that you'll get from this, because I can tell you, you can do LinkedIn marketing and win no business. And that's what most people do. I reckon 98% of people on LinkedIn win zero business. Why is that? Because they don't do anything. Or if they do, it's very little. And we all know what rewards we get. You know, if we join a gym and don't do very much, you know, we've got to get ourselves down to the LinkedIn gym on a regular basis, putting time and effort into growing that muscle, you know, or losing weight or whatever it is we want to do. So that said, you know, my next question for you is from a sales point of view. You know, what is your conversion rate right now? If you get 10 leads, does that equal 3 customers, 5 customers, 7 customers? You know, on a scale of 1 to 10, using the 5 being average again, where would you rate yourself on how good you are at picking up the phone and talking to people? How good you are at setting up that meeting? How good are your questioning skills? How good are you at defining an explanation when somebody says, I want to think about it. I don't have a budget right now. Call me back in 3 months. You know, any of those excuses for not actually going ahead right now, we've got to become good at understanding those and answering them. Not so that we become pushy salespeople, but rather we can understand what is the real reason that's making people say those things. Which could be, I'm not interested, because people are nice. I do believe people are nice and they hate to say, oh, no, sorry, I'm not going to go ahead, Steve. So we need to be able to overcome that. I'd rather get to know then and there that they're not interested than I would spend loads of time, effort, and money chasing them for the next 6 months. And every time I phone them, they don't answer the phone or they don't return my emails. And I'm sure you'd be the same. So that's really the key to this whole message that I've got around the role of sales and marketing in your business. Now, I've got another 1 to 10. Well, I've got 2 more 1 to 10 questions for you. Again, 5 is average, okay? And the question is, how good are you at marketing? How good are you at marketing? You know, because if you want to grow your business, if you want a better business, if you want a bigger business, you got to become a better business owner. To become a better business owner, you've got to look at your skills, your financial skills, your HR skills, your operational skills, and most important of all, your sales and marketing skills. And I'm talking about you, the owner of the business. Okay, if you're running a bigger business, that might come down to your sales team and how good your marketing manager or director is. But there's still an element that tells me, if the owner of the business doesn't understand something, then now's the time to get to a level where you at least know and understand what it is you're trying to get somebody else to do. I'm sure you'd agree that makes total sense. So, think about that. Think about your level of marketing expertise and what you need to do to try to improve that. Now, one thing you could do, well, there are several things you could do. You could talk to me about joining my Results Mastery program, which is my 12-month program. If you're interested in that, book a free meeting. You can see the things scrolling along the bottom there. So you can just go to my website, book a free meeting, click on one of the gold color buttons, and I look forward to talking to you on a one-to-one basis. Another option is you could join what I call my Results Mastery University, which gives you online training for you and your team for 25 quid a month. To be honest, it's an absolute no-brainer. It probably provides you with all the sort of sales and marketing training that you'd need for your business. So again, go and take a look at that. But other than that, again, look at your skills of your key people. What are they converting right now? What are their targets? If their targets are, I don't know, 500,000 a year, you've got maybe 2 or 3 salespeople whose target is £500,000 worth of business per year. Or perhaps you're the only, you're a one-person business and your goal is to get to 6 figures, to get to 100 grand. You're a startup and you want to get to 100 grand by the end of the year. What's your sales skills like? Because if they're not good enough, you ain't going to get there. Did you know that 8 out of 10 businesses that start this year will go bust within 5 years? Now, I want to be clear about this. This is not in tough times like we're in right now. This is in normal times, 8 out of 10 go bust. Now, in tough times like we're in right now with a war in the Ukraine, the global recession and all those things that the media will tell you are terrible, and they are, but they're not necessarily excuse me, not necessarily things that are going to prevent you in your small business from being successful. That said, what will affect you is your ability to create and convert leads. So if you want to know more, I've been doing it for 28 years. I've written 4 books on the subject. I've worked and coached and advised several thousand businesses and helped them, some of them, to make many, many millions of pounds. My biggest claim to fame is one guy who made 42 million pounds as a result of some advice that I gave them on how to market themselves on LinkedIn. Now, that's extraordinary. That doesn't happen every day. But what does happen is I often help startups to get to 100K. I help 100K businesses get to 200, 300, 400. I help £500,000 businesses hit that 7 figures, that £1 million plus. And I help £1 million plus businesses to create, I don't know, 20, 30, 40% increases in their business. So that's it. If you want any help, give us a shout. Thanks for being here, and I hope you enjoyed my session. Don't forget, I do this every day, and you'll be very welcome to attend tomorrow or in the future. Thanks for listening.